Hello, and welcome back to Dear Future Me. I'm Mio, and it feels so good to be back in this quiet space with you. In our last letter, we sat with that tricky voice of self-doubt, the one that whispers, "We're not good enough." We talked about how to be brave, even when we feel like a fraud. But what happens when we finally step outside of our own heads, feeling a little stronger, a little more confident, and we start looking around? Have you ever been having a perfectly good day, feeling proud of your small steps, and then you open your phone? You scroll for just a minute. You see someone else's promotion, someone else's beautiful vacation, someone else's seemingly effortless success. And suddenly, without warning, your own life feels a little less bright. It's a quiet deflation. A small, cold stone in your stomach that wasn't there before. Today, let's talk about that quiet ache. The quiet ache of comparison. Comparison feels like a race you never signed up for but are somehow losing. One minute, you are content walking your own path, and the next, you feel an urgent pressure to catch up without even knowing what you're chasing. This feeling is so common because we live in a world of highlight reels. We see the final, polished movie trailer of everyone's life, but we are intimately aware of our own behind-the-scenes footage. We know about the messy takes, the forgotten lines, the scenes we wish we could delete. We see the perfectly filtered sunset, but we don't see the long, stressful day that came before it. We see the certificate of achievement, but we don't see the years of quiet, often frustrating effort. We are comparing our real, complex, and beautifully messy reality with a carefully curated illusion. And in that comparison, we will always feel like we're not enough. It's a game we can't win because it was never a fair game to begin with. The reason comparison hurts so much is because it is a fundamentally incomplete story. It only shows us the destination, never the journey. It presents a victory, but hides the battle. Behind every success you see online, there are unseen chapters. There are the chapters of early mornings and late nights, the chapters filled with rejection and self-doubt, the chapters of quiet sacrifices, of saying no to fun things to say yes to a dream, the chapters of feeling lost and wanting to quit. We see the beautiful flower, but we don't see the long, slow, and often dark process of its roots growing deep into the soil. We don't see the storms it had to endure. When we compare, we are only seeing one page of a very long book, and we are using that single page to judge our own entire unwritten story. The truth is, even the most beautiful stories have messy first drafts. I experienced this so clearly just last week. After launching the first 2 episodes of this podcast, I felt a sense of quiet pride. It was a small beginning, but it was mine. I was so grateful for this space and for everyone who was listening. I felt like I was on the right path. And then I made the mistake of scrolling. I saw another new podcast in a similar space that had just launched and already had thousands of listeners and beautiful graphics. My first thought wasn't, good for them. If I'm being honest, my first thought was, what am I doing wrong? In the space of 30 seconds, the joy I felt from my own small progress completely evaporated. It was replaced by a familiar, heavy feeling of inadequacy. I started questioning everything. Was my voice good enough? Was my topic interesting enough? Why was I so much slower? I was letting a stranger's success define my own sense of worth. I was trading my own unique story for a feeling of being behind in a race I never intended to join. It took me a moment to breathe and come back to myself. And I remembered a simple truth. My path is not supposed to look like theirs. Your path is not supposed to look like anyone else's. Think of a tall oak tree. It doesn't look at a wildflower and wish it could bloom in a single season. It knows its own journey is one of slow, deep growth. What if your path is meant to be slower because your roots are growing deeper? What if your story is taking more time because it's building a stronger foundation? There is a sacred timing to every journey. Comparison is a distraction from that. It pulls you off your own path and makes you stare at someone else's. The only way to find peace is to gently turn your gaze back to your own feet, on your own ground, moving at your own perfect pace. Your story is not better or worse than anyone else's. It is simply, wonderfully yours, and no one can live it better than you. So how do we practice this? How do we train our minds to stay on our own path? Here is a small, gentle antidote to the ache of comparison. I call it the one small joy practice. Tonight, instead of scrolling before you sleep, I invite you to find one small, unique joy in your own day. Something that no one else experienced but you. It doesn't have to be big or impressive. Maybe it was the specific way the sunlight came through your window this morning. Maybe it was the taste of your morning coffee or a song that came on at the perfect moment. Maybe it was a kind message from a friend that felt like a warm hug. Find that one small, quiet moment of beauty. Hold it in your mind for a little while. If you like, write it down in your journal. This is not for anyone else to see. This is your proof, your evidence that your life, in its own quiet and unique way, is already full of beauty and meaning, right now. Comparison is the thief of joy, but only if we leave the door to our heart unlocked. This small practice of noticing our own joy is how we learn to gently close and lock that door, protecting our own precious peace. And now, a third letter to my future self. Dear future me, I hope you're walking your own path, at your own pace. I hope you've learned that the only person you ever need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. When you feel the pull to look sideways at someone else's journey, I hope you remember to gently turn your gaze back to your own feet and to be grateful for the ground they stand on. Please remember that our journey was never meant to be a race. It was meant to be lived. With hope, Mio. And that little exercise we talked about, the one small joy practice, I truly hope you give it a try. It's a simple way to remember that the best parts of your story are the ones that are uniquely yours. If you'd like to read along or review the vocabulary from today's episode, you can find the full transcript in the description below. The link is right there in the show notes for this episode. Thank you again for being here. Until we meet again, please be gentle with the person you are becoming.